Ever lie in bed when you're supposed to be asleep, your physical body trapped under the covers, but your brain racing at 100 miles an hour? That exact friction is the heartbeat of a classic poem called Escape at Bedtime. It captures a child pinned between the cozy walls of his home and the hypnotic, wide-open universe right outside his window. The poem begins entirely focused on the adult world. The house is a domestic, predictable space. The text mentions the warm light spilling out from the parlor and the kitchen, rooms built for sitting, eating, and following strict schedules. But directly overhead, the tone shifts. The child looks past the window blinds to find thousands of millions of stars, all glittering in constant, silent motion. The core of the poem is this collision, the heavy, earthly pull of bedtime rules meeting the boundless, completely uncontainable sky. To communicate that impossible scale, the poet uses hyperbole. Hyperbole is a deliberate exaggeration. It's a literary tool writers use to help our human brains grasp numbers or spaces that are otherwise too massive to process. The child tries to measure the night sky by thinking of the most crowded things he knows on Earth. He pictures all the individual leaves on a single tree, or an entire congregation packed shoulder to shoulder into the pews of a church. This split-screen visualization shows exactly how those earthly comparisons stack up. On one side, we have a dense cluster representing the leaves and the people. On the other, a rapidly multiplying counter tracks the sheer mathematical volume of visible stars. The earthly numbers fail completely. The sheer volume of the cosmos effortlessly swallows up any metric the child tries to apply to it. The child isn't lying when he exaggerates. He's using these massive, dense mental images to translate the cold, abstract math of outer space into a tangible feeling of overwhelming awe. The child also uses personification, giving human traits to non-human things. By imagining the stars looking down and winking at him, the empty void of space becomes friendly and familiar. It completely removes the fear of the dark. By tracking these specific lights, the child organizes the vast night into a structured, readable map. He finds the hunter and the plow, turning a random spray of dots into a destination. The poem was written by Robert Louis Stevenson, a Scottish writer whose own life was defined by a deep, restless need to travel and explore. Stevenson had a lifelong passion for maritime travel and high-stakes journeys. That bleeds directly into the poem when the child searches for the Star of the Sailor, a nod to the exact stars sea captains used to navigate in Stevenson's famous adventure stories. Then the child shifts his gaze from the macrocosm of the light years above back down to the microcosm of the ground. He notices a simple pail of water sitting by the wall. The water perfectly reflects the night sky. In a beautiful piece of imagery, the child manages to capture the infinite, untouchable universe inside a completely ordinary, everyday bucket. Armed with his imagination and a few ancient constellations, the child successfully turns a restrictive window into a portal. He charts a grand cosmic adventure without taking a single step outside. But the calm exploration is abruptly broken. The caregivers arrive to enforce the house rules. They saw me at last. The text physically describes the chaos of his capture. He is chased with cries and unceremoniously packed into his bed. The strict, literal demands of the adult world crash directly into the child's soaring adventure. The physical escape comes to a sudden halt. Yet the poem reveals a final twist. The adult successfully wrangled his physical body into the sheets, but his mind remains entirely free. Even after the room goes pitch dark and the door clicks shut, the glory keeps shining in his eyes. The stars continue spinning rapidly inside his head. Think about the window in your own room tonight. When the lights go out, do you see a boundary keeping you inside, or a lens looking out at everything else? While the door is barred and the room is dark, the child is still traveling. The stars continue their rotation inside his own head, proving that a locked room can't stop a mind already in orbit.